Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Aparokṣānubhūti Rochate Moksha Siddhaye Sadbhireva Prayatnena Vikshaniya Muhurmuhu. So the Tikakara says, from the verse 135, the teacher is summarizing Vedanta Vicharam, what was introduced in the 10th verse, as to how the knowledge can be gained only by Vichara. The whole process of Vichara or inquiry was initiated there. That is Upasamharati, that is being again concluded here and summarized here also. Karye karanatayata karane nahi karyata. So, see this fact. Karye karanata ayata. In karya or the effect, the karanata, the cause. The cause inheres in the effect. Cause flows in the effect. The clay inheres in the pot. Karane nahi karyata. But the pot is not in the clay. When you have a lump of clay, there is no pot in there. Whereas when you have a pot, definitely there is clay in there. So this is a simple thing. That of these two, the karyam, the effect such as pot, is a dependent entity because it cannot exist without clay, which is its material cause. Whereas clay is substance, it is not dependent upon the pot for it to be there. Clay exists on its own. Clay shines on its own. Whereas the pot is, because clay is, the pot shines because the clay shines. So in the effect, such as pot, cause such as clay is there. Where in the cause clay, the effect, namely pot, is not there. There is no potness in clay. There is clayness in pot. This is the simple cause and effect relationship. Karanatvam tato gacched karya bhava vicharataha. Now having understood that the clay is independent of the pot, then now meaning that for thinking of clay, we do not have to think of pot. When we say that the cause inheres in the effect, the clay inheres in the pot, meaning that in the thought of the pot, clay is included, clay has to be included, because without the clay, the pot cannot be. But now, when you think of clay, does pot have to be there in your thought? No. In clay, there is no partness. Clay is independent, pot is dependent upon clay. Clay is independent upon pot. So then, if you just look at now clay, then the clay has no relationship with the pot. Pot is related to clay, but clay has no relationship with pot. Pot exists because of clay, clay exists on its own. So karatvam tato gached. Thus when you look at the clay itself, then you find that the clay is even itself devoid of the idea of causality. Clay is called a cause only from the standpoint of the pot. On its own, from the standpoint of clay, clay is clay, there is no cause in there, no causality. So karatvam tato gached karya abhava vicharataha. So when you think of the clay, karya abhava, without the karya of the pot, then the clay is not even the cause, because clay is clay. Atha shuddham bhaved vastu yadvai vacham agocharam. Then in this manner you come to that which is devoid of the idea of cause and effect. Shuddham vastu. Shuddha means what? Pure. What is pure? It is neither cause, meaning in the thought of clay. When you think of clay, the causeness is not involved. When you think of the pot, effectness is involved because clay is involved. You just think of clay, without pot, just clay. In that case, the causeness is not involved. Causality is not involved because in itself a thing is not cause. A thing is cause only with reference to its effect. Cause and effect are both relative standpoints. Cause and effect are relative standpoints. Clay gains the status of cause only from the standpoint of pot. Pot, of course, is effect, but the clay gains the status of a cause only when we think of clay in reference to the pot. We think of cause, like a man is called father, only with reference to the son or the daughter. If you look at the man, the idea of father doesn't come in there. When you look at the person, just a person. Only when the son or daughter comes, then say, hey, you are the father. So then with reference to the child or the progeny, this person is called father. On his own, there is no fatherness in that. So relative, as it is, the person is absolute without the idea of the father or son. He becomes relatively father only with reference to son. But when looked at only himself, there is no father there. All there is this person. Person without the idea of father. Without any idea. Without any visheshanam. Without any attribute. Without any relativeness. Shuddham vastu. A simple person. So similarly also, when you look at the whole universe, is effect. Universe is karyam. So the cause inheres in the universe. Cause is asti bhati priyam, that inheres in every name and form. Meaning that the name and form cannot be unless the asti bhati priyam is, the effect cannot be unless the cause is. Now, from the mind, drop the name and form. So upeksha nama rupe dve, when you let go in your mind, because name and form are droppable, therefore you can drop. What is not droppable, you cannot drop. What is droppable you can drop. In this part, the name and form are droppable. You can ignore them and still you can think of the substance. Similarly in the universe also, the names and forms being relative. Therefore, if you do not think of it is possible for you not to think of name and form. However, not possible not to think of Asti Bhati Priyam. Think of name and form, Asti Bhati Priyam perforce has to be there. Think of Asti Bhati Priyam, there is no cause, no effect, simple Shuddham Vastu, which is devoid of the idea of cause also. So thus the teacher says, Mrut Ghatenaiva Drishtantena, by Drishtanta illustration of the pot and clay, again and again. See how what you call cause is really not the cause, it is simple Vastu. Similarly, Brahman can be called cause of the universe only from the standpoint of the universe, which we say is effect, but on its own. So universe can be called as child, progeny of Brahman. But Brahman in its own, there is no causality in there also. All that remains is the Vastu without the idea of cause. So then now, going to the next verse, Na kevalam vicharo jnana sadhanameva apitu dhyana sadhanamapi. This vichara, this kind of inquiry can lead to knowledge. It can also become means of meditation. So vichara of this type that was illustrated in the previous verses. Not only becomes jnana sadhanam, means leading to knowledge, apitu dhyana sadhanam api, it can also become a means of dhyanam or meditation. So that's what is said in the verse 137. Anenaiva prakarena vrittir brahmatmika bhaved udeti shuddha chittanam vritti jnanam tatah param. Anenaiva prakarena shuddha chittanam. So for this vichara, for the knowledge to take place in the mind, one of the requirements is Shuddha Chittanam, of the people of pure heart. So what is purity of the heart? The ability to let go of name and form. The ability to recognize that name and form are only incidental. In an object such as pot, the form and name are incidental, meaning that the substance remains even if the name and form is not. Substance meaning clay is there when name and form is there, and substance namely clay is there even when name and form is not there. So name and form is only incidental. This person is there whether that is the costume of beggar, or is there even when the costume of beggar is not there. So actor is when the beggar is, actor is when the beggar is not there. That means, so when can we do that? When we can let go of beggar in our mind, then we can see the actor as it is, as he is. If we can let go of this name and form of the part in our mind, then we can simply see the clay as it is. So in Jagat also. But with pot it is easy. With Jagat, wait a minute, this universe of people and things, and now I have a lot of emotional things about this world. See, as far as the pot is concerned, I am quite objective. I have no axe to grind. The part is part. This big, small doesn't matter to me. I'm completely objective with reference to part, meaning I have no attachment, no aversion, no agenda for the part. Therefore, I am very objective about the part, and therefore I can see that the name and form, the shapes are purely incidental. They are not real. What is inherent here is clay. That alone is real. That being the case, in my mind I can drop the name and form because I have no emotional connection, no attachment, no aversion, no agenda that name and form should be there. I don't. So this is called Shuddha Chittam, objectivity. When I am totally objective, non-demanding with reference to name and form, it does not matter to me what the name is, whether it's this name and form or some other name and form, it's quite alright. When it comes to the world, I have an emotional relationship. There are certain things that I like, certain things that I dislike. So all likes and dislikes are there with reference to the Vishwa. I am not so objective. That is the reason why I am not able to create a distance with the world, because it perforce enters my mind. The objects simply enter my mind, whether I want them or not, only because either there is an attachment for them or an aversion for them. That's why our Swami said that when this person travels in the train, 10 people travel with him. His son-in-law may be there and his mother-in-law may be there and this, with whom there is some problem, so whatever it is. Meaning that my relation with the universe is not objective. Having had history, no history with this part. If I had a history with the part, if I was told that Swami, this is an antique part, 300 years old, its cost. It comes from, all coming down to us from 10 generations. Oh, is that what it is? Now then it's a different matter. If I go to a goldsmith with this thing, he just gives me money of the gold. But if this is given by my grandmother and I've been wearing it since 35 years and it is so when an emotional connection is established, it's so difficult to just call it gold. He said, don't tell just gold. This is not only bangle, it's a special thing. For goldsmith, simple gold. Goldsmith can simply drop or let go or negate the name and form and the history and everything else and simply look at this as gold. Whereas I, who have a history with this, I cannot do that. That's what is meant by pure-hearted. Our heart or mind is not pure, meaning that it is not possible for us to create a distance, be objective and see things for what they are. Always superimpose. My brother, my sister, my friend, something or the other we always superimpose. Either superimpose desirability upon something or undesirability. Something or the other, my mind is called Shobhanadhyasa. It has become the habit of mind to superimpose. Therefore, I do not see things as they are. I usually see things from the glasses of likes and dislikes. So this is called impurity. These ragadveshas, which involve the superimposition, seeing something more than what is there when there is attachment, or seeing something less than what is there when there is aversion. When I do not like something, I don't give them credit even for what they are. When I like something, I give them credit for more than what they have. Meaning in both the instances, I am not able to see things as it is. This vichara inquiry always requires an objective mind, like that of a scientist, who has a sample or who has in his laboratory, and there is no agenda with it. Then he can simply investigate things for what it is. There is no agenda, no preconceived notion about what this should be. Similarly, when my mind becomes totally free from any agenda with the world, I do not want the world to be this way or that way. I do not make any demands upon the world. I accept the world as it is, whatever it is, with no demands, no expectation, no agenda. Neither do I want anything, nor do I hate anything. Everything is as it is, where it is. It's fine. Everything is in order. When this is my relationship with the world, that's called objective relationship. In short, for vichara or inquiry, I always need an objective relationship with what I want to understand. When I want to understand something, I have to be objective. Otherwise, like as we're growing up in the family, our brother and sister, sometimes there are always some problems, and so the sister is serving the food. So I ask, who has cooked the food? She says, I have cooked. It's no good. Right away I make a judgment, When I say it, then she says, mother has cooked, But when she says, because I have some problem with her, so moment she says, I have cooked, right away, I don't like it. What is that? I complain. Mother has cooked, whatever it is all right. Sister has cooked, whatever it is not all right. So this is how things are. And so they never tell you what, after finishing and then only they reveal what is what. They know this. So just as with the food, I am not objective. I have already decided, cooked by sister is no good, already decided. There is an agenda. Cooked by mother, it is good, already an agenda. Then I cannot appreciate it for what it is, whether it is delicious or not. Similarly, because I have been interacting in the world from the time beginningless, I have a long history with the world. World has given me a lot of pain in some cases. Part of the world has also given me pleasure. And though this is something special, this is something different. So this is called raga and dvesha. These raga dveshas prevent me from being objective to see things as they are. Otherwise, it's all name and form. So just as because I am objective with the spot, from my mind I can drop this name and form because I know that it's incidental. Same thing I do with the world. Then it's fine. Then I will know what the world is. Then I know the pot is nothing but clay. Similarly also, then I know that world is asti bhati priyam. So Shuddha Chittana Vritti Jnanam Udeti Anena Prakarana. So by the method that was discussed in the previous verse as to how the clay inheres in the pot, how pot is dependent upon clay being effect, how clay is independent of the pot because it is independent, and that clay is not even the cause in the final analysis because cause also is a relative designation that we assign to the clay with reference to pot. But my pot, Swami used to say, my wife, she's supposed to, my idiot, she's woman, so wife is a superimposition. Moment you call wife, mean all kinds of things come. Woman is a different thing. So this superimposition, I can look upon the person and treat her in a fair manner only when I look upon her as a woman. As wife means I have some kind of a special rights. And she has some kind of special duties. So then all kinds of problems happen. So objectivity is not the moment we brand something. Moment we brand wife means objectivity is not there. It's all right, we require that for vyavahara. So we keep branding. All I'm saying is, for a scientist who want to investigate what this item is, it should not be wife, husband, nothing, just a person. Then it's not even women who are just human being. Not a human being, just living being. Just being, Because why should I even distinguish between living and lifeless being? They are all beings. They all, exist. They all shine. Meaning that they are all equal from that standpoint. So if I want to see the equality in everything, then whatever is unequal, I should be able to let go. Not from this person, Swami, I can't do that because this is my enemy. So I am stuck there. But if everything is equal, then they are all creation, all human beings, all living beings. So moment as a human being, all human beings are included. When it's a man or woman, then a man is included and women. Then it's a human being, all human beings are included. So what we call samanya, we are looking for samanya. What is sameness in them? The truth is always sameness. In the universe, what is sameness? Universe consists of things and beings. Beings are different species. So first, man and women, then human beings. So when I say human beings, all human beings are included. When I say living beings, then all other species are included. When I say beings, then even the lifeless things also, insentient also is included, is it not so? So this way, we, in order to arrive at the truth, we have to find Mahasamanya. Samanya, what is common? What is the common denominator? What is the minimum common denominator? What is common, minimum common in all of them? So we reduce. Now that requires dispassion. Oh, don't tell me that monkeys and human beings are the same. So they are living beings. No, human beings are living. These fellows are not just worms. They are all living beings. Meaning that then I do not differentiate between one living being, other living being, the superior, inferior. They are all living beings. Then I do not even differentiate between living beings and non-living beings. Names and forms. Then I realize that even now in all names and forms, being is the same. That all of them exist. Doesn't matter whether friend or foe, good or bad, useful or useless. This classification is not, as long as it is there, I cannot be objective. Useful, useless, friend, foe, mine, yours, they are all subjective things. No such thing as friend in the universe. If there is an entity called friend, he should be friend to everybody. That's not so. There is an enemy, that's also a relative standpoint. Useful also is a relative standpoint. Useless also is a relative standpoint. All subjective. And all subjectivity is given up. Then what remains? When all differences, recognizing that they're incidental, given up, what remains is what? Being. Even names and forms different are there. I realize that names and forms are different. What is common? Just being is common. Asti is common. Bhati is common. That's common. If I can be so objective, just let go. What is uncommon? Incidental, let go. The statisticians have to do that, isn't it? When they do census, they don't know, statistics, what is population? That includes everything. Then you call Hindus and Muslims, and that also includes everything. Then you got this varna and that one. That slowly exclusion starts. But to understand the reality of something, we just have to understand what is essential in this and what is incidental. Everything is incident. What is created is incidental. Human beings are created. Other living are created. Sentient created. Insentient created. What is created is all superimposition, is all incidental. It need not be there. Even if it is not there, thing will exist. Even if names and forms are not there, this thing will exist. So it all reduces to what? Asti, bhati, priya. We have not done, this is Vedantic scientific method. Or where I am at the most fundamental building block. Not this boson, etc. That is also, is there and appears and disappears. But this is asti bhati priyam. Anenaiva prakarena vrittir brahmatmika bhavet. The vritti becomes what? From Vishwam to slowly and slowly vritti changes. Because more and more samanya, mahasamanya, this is Brihadaranyaka method. Ultimately, what is mahasamanya? What is extremely, what is equal in all of them? Simply asti, bhati. That's how wise people must be seeing. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini sunicheva swapakecha. Oh, this is pure and, this is learned Brahmana. Where is it Brahmana? This is untouchable. But when you do not do that, this is a human being. Even the dogs are also included. Living beings. Beings. Because between dogs and trees, even living or the stones, living also is not common. Being is common. So when we can reduce even just being, panditaha samadarshina, wise people see that as what? As their own self, not something there. Vrittir brahmatmika bhavet. In this manner, when you come to Mahasamanya means that which is universal. Mahasamanya, most universal, is what? Brahman. Asti bhati priyam. Udayita shuddha chittanam. This happens to the people who are absolutely objective. Who can be objective means all accommodative. That's being objective. Objective does not mean that he's indifferent and he doesn't care. He's all accommodative. Formerly we accommodate only human beings, now we accommodate all living beings, accommodating. Then all beings are accommodated. All names and forms are accommodated. Just simple being is accommodated. So accommodation. Object means what? Accommodating. So therefore accommodation becomes a value. In our life, this kshama or accommodation becomes a value. That's what we have to do ultimately. To gain the knowledge, our drashti should become so vast and so impartial that so more impartial you are, more accommodating you are, more respectful you are. So that's what is ultimately. Therefore in life this becomes a value. If I keep on all the time dividing in my mind, then you don't expect that your mind will be able to let go. It can't. Vrittir brahmatmika bhaved. Udayati shuddha chittanam vritti jnanam tatah param. Tatah param. Thereafter, vritti jnanam udayati. The knowledge that I am Brahman, knowledge of what is this Brahman arises. Again, this way you can call this meditation, you can call it vichara, you can call it contemplation. This is what we have to do. You can look at the world, what is it? And keep reducing. Completely objective, you come to simple, that which is common in all. Simple existence alone is common in all. And it's revealing. So you come to Brahma Udayati, Vritti Jnanam Udayati. Tav Vicharam Vishayaditi Dvabhyam. Next two verses again the teacher clarifies the same vichara. Says the verse 138. Karanam Vyatirekena Umanado Vilokayed Anvayena Punastadhe Karye Nityam Prapashyade. Karanam vyatirekena puman ado vilokayet. Ado prasamam karanam vyatirekena karyavehena vicharayet. So first of all, you see the karanam. You see thing without the effect. Vyatirekena means excluding. Vyatireka is excluding. Karyavehena, because that means that, let us say that there is a pot in front of me. First of all, puman adau karanam vilokayet. Vyatirekena, by excluding what can be excluded. Namely, the karyam, name and form. So first of all, appreciate that this object is karanam, the cause, namely the clay. Anvayena punastaddi. Then having understood or having known what the clay is, that is the cause. So first of all, you have to know the cause. So in this object, exclude what is the cause? This pot is in my hand. What is the cause? So in this one, cause and effect both are involved. The clay and the name and form both are involved. So if you want to arrive at the cause part in this, then what do? The karyam, the effect, has to be excluded. So name and form is the effect. And therefore, karyavehena vicharayet. First of all, look at this object and understand that devoid of the name and form, what this is simply clay. Which is the cause? Anvayena punastaddi karye nityam prapashyati. Once you understood the clay, then you find that in the pot there is anvaya. So this is called vyatireka and anvaya. In clay there is a vyatireka, exclusion of pot. In the pot there is anvaya, inclusion of clay. Clay excludes the pot, whereas pot includes the clay. Effect excludes the cause, cause includes the effect. Effect includes the cause. So punah tat anvayena anuvritya karyepi nityam prapashyati. So again, the same thing is being told here. That when you look at something, first of all, arrive at the cause. Devoid of the effect part. So recognize what is the effect, what is changing, what is incidental, and let it go, and only focus attention on what is inherent, that is the cause. Have you understood what the cause is? Then recognize that cause inheres in the effect of all the parts and pans, etc. That cause inheres in all of them. Let's go anvaya. That inherence is anvaya. Cause inheres in the effect. Anvaya is there, that in the effect the cause is. Vyatireka excludes, the cause excludes the effect. So anvaya vyatireka method. You know, it's simple. If sun is, day is. Sun is not, day is not. That means the day is dependent, sun is independent. Day is effect, sun is cause. So this way the cause and effect is determined. So this is how you understand what is karanam, what is karyam. Let go of the karyam, focus attention on the karanam, and that is nothing but Brahman. Atva evam vichar, or you can vicharayet, you can also deliberate in this manner, think in this manner. So next verse says, Karye hi karanam paschet paschat karyam visarjayed karanatvam tato gacchet avashishtam bhaven munihi. Well, look at it this way. Come back to the part again. This is easier way. Karye karanam paschet. The part is karyam, effect. And we know very well, as we have already seen, effect cannot exist without the material cause. So karyehi karanam pasye, in the pot, we appreciate the cause part which is clay. Inasmuch as the pot has two things. One is changing, other is changeless. One is incidental, other is inherent. So we know that the name and form in the so-called pot are subject to change. Because this pot falls from a hand and breaks down, then the form changes, the name also changes. You call it by a different name, piece, you can call it shard, something else you will call it. But the clay inheres. Again, if you turn that into pieces, then you can call them pebbles, but the clay inheres. Call it powder, the clay inheres. So whereas the name and form are subject to change, the clay is changeless. So recognize that in this entity or in this object called pot, there are two aspects, a changeable and a changeless. The clay is changeless, is inherent. The pot, name and form, is changing, is incidental. So karyehi karanam pashyet. In karya or the effect, namely pot, may you first recognize that this clay is a karanam, is a cause, is unchanging. So now you understood this object as a union of two things. Of clay, which is cause, and name and form, which is effect. So first you understand this. Meaning that whatever you perceive in the world, whatever becomes an object of my knowledge is necessarily karyam, is necessarily created. And therefore, in that there is going to be karanam, inherent, and the karyam, which is incidental. And so, we just take a pot. Name and form are incidental, clay is inherent, that's the cause. Paschat karyam visarjet. Now you understood that the name and form is incidental. Visarjet, let it go. And what remains in your mind? The clay. So in the beginning, the clay remains the cause of the pot. But when you focus your attention long enough in clay, then clay alone remains. Then the karanatvam, the clay no more remains the cause, it just remains clay. The karanatvam tato gachet. Karanatvam, the state of being caused. So, clay is no more the cause, all it is with reference to pot, clay was cause, by itself is just clay. Devoid of the idea of cause. Our system, but then what remains, may you become that. So this is we already went through this. The universe is the effect, which is union of two things, the cause and effect, the inherent and incidental. In all of this, the name and form is created incidental. So when the Upanishads describe creation, it can only create what is creatable. The Asti Bhadi Priyam is always there, therefore it cannot be created, because what is there is not created. So Upanishad says that this universe was simple existence, one without a second, before its creation. So before the creation, the universe was Sat, existence, one without a second. So where these names and forms, they are not there. Then that Sat or God, if you want to call, Aikshata, deliberated, may I create, may I become manning. And that's how slowly the elements were created, elementals were created, and the whole universe was created. So this was not there before, has come into being, that's called effect. So entire universe of names and forms is what? Effect. Now to look upon something as name, form itself is a big objective thing. Just name and form. It's not your wife, it's name and form. Not your son, name and form. Not your friend, name and form. Not your enemy, name and form. Not precious, name and form. Not useless, name and form. So all kinds of things that we have superimposed, it can be appreciated only when we let go of all superimpositions. So name and form God has created. Upon that we have created all this stuff. Ishvara Srushti is simple name and form. Then my sister and my brother and my father and my mother and my spouse and my this and my that and my friend and all of this emotional stuff comes. So this has to first go. Name and form, that's all it is. Really, Swami, that's all? You, my grandmother, my father, is just like that, that's all it is. As far as investigation of truth is concerned, the name and form is created, let it go. I let go my father, my mother. You can let go only is what let goable. You can't let go what is not. So don't worry. The essential part of a father, a mother, child, etc., you can never let go. What is really valuable, what is really substance, essential can never let go. So don't worry. What you can let go was never there to begin with. There, what is incidental? In fact, you are just calling this person your father. You'll find out that is Brahman. So you are not letting go. You are in fact recognizing the real value of everything. By superimposing all this stuff, you have made them valueless. You made them just entities, all these mundane entities you have made them. Let it go. Then you won't lose anything. You'll gain something. What will you gain? That this is Asti Bhati, this is Brahman, most divine, Ishvara, God. Ishavasam idam saram yat kincha jagatyam jagat. So karatvam, then it's not even a cause because effect is not there. What is it's Brahman. Avasishtam bhaven muni, you become that because that is you, not something there. So this is a method of vichara here, which is prescribed. Nanu vicharajanya aparokṣajnana mune brahmatvam bhavatu nama. All right. For a muni who is able to do this vichara in such an objective manner, who is so objective that he can just without any difficulty let go of what is incidental. And therefore he is able to arrive at what is essential and see it as his own nature. It may be for a muni, but Aparokṣajnana for us, who are not Aparokṣajnani, we are only Parokṣajnani, those who understand it in a way, but don't see this fact. So Brahman I know is all pervasive, this, that, but I don't see that Aparokṣajnana. Katham bhavet? So, how do I become Brahman when I am right now only Aparokṣajnani? Says, Tivra bhavanaya Aparokṣajnana brahmatvam bhavet. You know who is Aparokṣajnani? Who understands everything. I understand Swamiji. That this is indeed a name and form only. There is nothing more than that. What is really it is gold, I understand. But still, I'm not able to quite see this because this is bangle coming from my great grandmother. So that subjective part also remains. So one who is not able to let go the subjective part. He understands what the objective part is. Understand this is gold. But still not able to let go of that this is somebody's bangle and this is this and that kind of thing. What should I do? Then you constantly meditate. This is gold, this is gold, this is gold. You follow? When you meditate, this is gold, then slowly, this is my mother's and that, but slowly, the goldness gets more and more importance in your mind when you keep on focusing attention on that. And all other subjective, emotional projections slowly, lose their importance, lose their effect. You follow? So that's what now, Tivra Bhavanaya. By Tivra Bhavana, by firm conviction, and you can also, even you will make it your Aparokṣajnana. So then, next verse is Bhavitam tivra vegena yadvastu nischayatmana pumam staddhibhave shigram Nyeyam brahmarakītavat. Yad vastu nischayatmana tīvravegena bhavitam. Who am I? In me itself. In I. Also, I just let go of what is incidental and focus attention only in what is essential in I. In anything that I take up for meditation, what is the bhavana that I am wedded to or I am committed to what is essential? So my mind keeps on bringing the incidental, that this is this and this is that, because of superimposition. Tīvra vegena, with my conviction that I know that this is simply the projection of my mind. That this is good and this is bad and this is right and wrong and mine, all these are projections. So they don't go away simply by even knowing. So what do? I keep on giving priority to the fact that it is only Brahman. Asti bhadi prem in this form, asti bhadi in that form, asti bhadi in this form. So I keep on forcefully directing my mind and make my mind think of asti bhadi prem. That's what it is. So slowly and slowly what will happen? The importance that I was so far given, because so far for me name and form alone were real. See, when we are born, we are growing. For us, what is really is only name and form. We always related to names and forms and always interacted with them, and that is why all kinds of emotional things are there, and so all kinds of projections are there. That's called Jiva Srishti. What Ishvara has created is simply name and form. Father is my creation. Brother is my creation. Friend is my creation. Likeable is my creation. Dislikable my creation. Valuable my creation. Useless my creation. We have together decided that this is a precious matter, gold. I mean, what's the big deal? The Ishvara has created everything. Human beings chose this as a precious matter. If it was not chosen, then what? Then this would have been flowing around like anything, isn't it? Then you can make some toys out of this and play with them. It's precious matter. Okay. So paper is paper. So the child is, a little one, whatever it sees, it starts tearing off. So mother is watching and she doesn't mind. Newspaper is torn off, this is torn off, that is, and then some green paper comes. Hey, wait a minute, don't, and this was, what is wrong with that? I mean, this is all paper. For a child, it's all paper. Then he's told this is paper but something else. So that's how we start slowly and slowly superimposing. No, this is an ordinary paper. This is called money. You must treat it differently. Don't go to this fellow's home. Don't eat that. So that's how. So this is no good. Don't touch them. Don't drink that water. So that's how we were. That's how we were growing. If you go there, that's okay, because you go into a place, you don't drink water there. Let alone eating food, that forget it. Okay? So that means you view them differently. So all of these superimpositions called subjectivity that is our life. And this is what we live in. From that we have to become objective. And therefore, focus upon what is essential. It's a human being. This, that, all kinds of brands are there, okay? So it's Hindu. From there also we at least this much credit we can. Hindu. Then no, this Jain and this Vaishnava and so everybody, okay. Then human being. But it's a man and woman and it's a living being. This is how slowly and slowly we let go of what is subjective. What is superimposition? Now, not by vichara, because I am not able to do it vichara, because my mind doesn't give up. So what I do? I simply keep on repeating in my mind, this is human being, human being, human being, human being. My mind says, this is father, mother, good, human being. So constantly, simply by repeating this and making my mind see this fact again and again and again, then a time comes when my mind sees this human being. You see what I'm saying? Living being, living being, living being. So the human beings also are distinguished between different living beings. He is living being. So why constantly repeating that, making my mind see? Because that's the reality. Slowly my mind sees it as not even human being, as living being. He's being, come on, So that is how I make my mind deliberately focus attention on what is unchanging. And therefore, by focusing attention on unchanging, I turn away my mind from what is changing or what is subjective. So this is meditation. Seeing is one thing and meditating is another thing. I don't see that these are all human beings, but I meditate human beings. So bhavana. Like they say, they look upon all women as your mother. Okay, I don't see it, but I try. I keep on saying in my mind, this is my mother, my sister, my daughter, whatever. Bhavana. This is Bhagavan. What is that? What is this? So as I said in Sailasburg, in our ashram, one Western person says, looking at the action, what is this rock doing here? So that was a rock. I say, this is God. No, that's all bhavana. It's a rock in reality, really. I never thought about it that way. So as Swami was saying once, Swami, so he was in Viditatmananda and standing in front of God and he must be doing something, whatever, japa, whatever he does. And so somebody woke him up. There was a Western person looking at Viditatmananda, Bhagavan. What is this made up of? He says, So the thing is that this is how you look at things. So now that it is a rock. Now you slowly come down to the basics by slowly giving up all your personal superimpositions. It's not disrespecting, it's saying things for what it is. Because that's what we do. When we say mother and father, all of these are nothing but the values and things that we have assigned to things. And so look at them as Ishvara has created them. Only human beings are created. Upon them we have superimposed ideas. That Ishvara has created only living beings. We have superimposed this is human, this, that and whatnot. Ishvara has created only beings. So Ishvara Srushti. The Jiva Srushti we slowly give up by insisting upon it. So not by seeing, but by bhavana. So bhavana is an attitude. Knowledge is seeing what it is. Bhavana is you have the attitude that no, this is Brahman, this is Brahman, this is Brahman, this is Brahman, this is Brahman. Or I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Not repeating, making your mind see that I am only, in me also name and form are not real. The real is only Brahman. So bhavitam tivra vegena. I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Nischayatmana, because I am Nischay. Because intellectually I understand that I am Brahman. Only emotionally I think that I am a Jiva. Intellectually I understand. And therefore, I make my mind see what conviction I have intellectually that, hey, you are not Jiva. You see here, you are Brahman, you are Asti Bhadipa. So I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. I constantly see myself as Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. Superimpose the idea of Brahman upon myself. Just to superimpose the idea of Lord Krishna upon this, superimpose idea, I am Brahman. Tivra vegena. Then author says, the teacher says, that's what you will become. Tivra vegena. So pumam staddi bhavet. So yad was Satchidananda Brahma. I am Satchidananda. Human being, but human being Satchidananda in human form. Satchidananda this form. I am Satchidananda in, as father, as much Satchidananda. First, then human being, then mother, then father. Satchidananda I am. Because what happens is that father, mother does not exclude Satchidananda. Satchidananda will exclude everything ultimately. And therefore, that this is gold. My mind says Bengal, it's gold, which is a fact. So when I say I am Brahman, I am not imagining something, it's a fact. But since my mind has a habit of superimposing and seeing it as something else, therefore I make my mind say again, I am Brahman. So, this vastu, pumam stadhi bhave shigram, in course of time you become Brahman. Because you are Brahman. So, jivatva is only because it is false or it is only incidental. It slowly disappears from your consciousness and what remains is Brahman. Pratyek abhinna, pratyek brahma bhavana, purusha brahma rupo bhavati. By knowledge, you see yourself as Brahman. By bhavana, you become Brahman. So bhavana is becoming process. Meditating, imagining that this is Lord Krishna, Krishna. So when I see, what I see is only Murti. But what is bhavana? Krishna. In course of time, a time comes when this becomes Krishna. Meaning that when I look at it, no more Murti comes in my Krishna comes. You follow? Similarly, when I look at myself, I am Brahman, ever pure. So slowly, all things other than Brahman, they start going away, and what remains is I become Brahman. He is Vidat Prasiddha. So this we are telling you is something that is already tested. See, the benefit of this teaching or this whole Vedanta is that it is not something that is started yesterday. So again and again, so this Tikakar keeps on saying, Pumam stadhi tad he bhavet. There is a he in there. What is that he? He is what? Vidat Prasiddha. This is already Vidat Prasiddhi. This is already known by wise people, already experienced by them. So those who have gone through this already discovered the reality of this, or the validity of this. Meaning that we are not telling you something that is, something figment of our imagination. This is a tradition coming down, and this has been in fact tried and realized by a number of people. So an example is given. Gneyam Brahmara Kitavata. Kita means a worm, Brahmana means a wasp. So very famous, the worm becoming wasp. So what we see is that a wasp apparently, they make, the wasp you have seen, they bring little clay, and then keep on making their home. It is so strong because they somehow mix that clay with their, I think, saliva or something like that and becomes such a very strong thing. So these fellows have really habit of making in such awkward places they make this. But anyway, it's where you can't reach out. That's where they make their home. And there is a hole in there. It brings a little worm in there, and puts there. Then comes and stings. This is what we see. In course of time, what we find? That what went in as a little worm comes out as a wasp. So what do we imagine? That when this fellow stings, it is so painful to that little worm. It is always scared of the wasp. It will come and sting me. So constantly is the fear of the wasp. Because the fear keeps on constantly thinking of the wasp, it becomes wasp. It's called Kita Bhramaranyaya. Kita becoming Bhramara. There is a becoming process. There is a knowing process and a becoming process. Knowing is seeing what is, becoming is bhavana. The believing. So imagining that this is what it is. Having an attitude, this is what it is. That also brings about the same result as seeing. So only biologists can tell us what this is. So one thing cannot become something else, really speaking. One thing like a worm cannot become a wasp. So the rule is that something cannot transform its nature. And so what is really nothing, the previous stage of the wasp alone slowly evolves into a wasp. That's what they tell us. This goes through some stages and So similarly, not that Jiva becomes Brahman, he is Brahman, therefore only he can become Brahman. So vichara and dhyana or meditation. So this method can become the means of vichara, or this same karyakarana business can become the means of meditation, by which you can attain the same result. इन्हीं पूर्व श्लोकोक्त दृष्टान्ते भावना बलादेव अन्य संयत्मं भवेत्. But the drishtanta illustration given in the previous verse, where it said that a worm becomes wasp, one thing becomes other thing simply by bhavana, simply by an attitude. Then what is already thing, that you already are Brahman, that you become Brahman, what to talk? If you are not Brahman, and also you can become Brahman because of the force of that bhavana. If you are already Brahman, then where is the question of not becoming Brahman? You will become Brahman definitely. If what is not wasp can also become wasp by simply thinking that I am wasp, thinking of wasp becomes, then if you are already a wasp, then where is the question of you are not becoming wasp? If you are already Brahman, then you become Brahman, there is no question. If one thing can become something else, then that thing can definitely become what it is. So, next one says, Sarvatma Bhavanam. Now, Sarvatma Bhavana. Adrushyam bhavarupam cha sarvameva chidatmakam savadhanataya nityam svatmanam bhavayet buddha. Adrushyam bhavarupam cha sarva. Now, earlier the meditation, I am Brahman, it becomes Brahman. Now you take the universe. What is universe? Name and form superimposed upon Brahman. So universe is already Brahman, upon which names and forms are superimposed. Therefore, Adrushyam bhavarupam cha sarameva chidatmakam. Adrushyam is invisible. And bhavarupam is that which is tangible. So tangible is as drashya. What you perceive is all tangible, is called bhavarupam, drishyam, the objects. And what you do not perceive is your own self, the subject. So for the drashta and drishya, the words used are adrushyam and bhavarupam. So adrushyam means drashta, the subject. Bhavarupam means the tangible object. So what is subject as well as object? Or adrushyam, drashta, and bhavarupam drishyam. Or adrushyam parokṣam, bhavarupam pratyakṣam. Alright. So what is here? So what is evident, what is not evident? Or the object and the subject. So, the reason why the author uses these two words is to include two things in one word, that is why. He could have said they are subject and object. But adrushyam and bhavarupam, these words are used. Adrushyam can mean what is not perceptible, means what is imperceptible, paroksha. Or since you cannot see yourself, adrushyam also means the drashta. Bhavarupam is what is tangible, can mean drishyam. Or bhavarupam can mean what is pratyakṣam. So bhavarupam can mean pratyakṣam, adrushyam, and adrushyam means parokṣam or drashta. So drashta, drishya, pratyaksha, paroksha, all are included in these two words. So whatever it is, what is here, so yat chakinchit jagat sarvam drushyate shruyate viva antarabhesha tat sarvam vyapya narayana stitah. Yat chakinchit jagat sarvam, the entire creation, drushyate shruyate viva. Drushyate, what is perceived, shruyate, what is heard, means what is not perceived. Pratyaksha and paroksha, here and there, in this world or in heaven. Tat sarva, all of that is pervaded by Narayana inside and out. So here chidatmakam, here is all nothing but consciousness. The object also is consciousness. See this fact. Because what we call object is nothing but the consciousness upon which this name and form are superimposed, that's called creation. So it's vivartakara. Brahma is not the Parinami Karanam, Vivarta Karanam. Meaning upon Brahman or consciousness, things are superimposed. So what you call object is nothing but a name and form superimposed upon consciousness. Subject also is these name and form superimposed on consciousness. What is pratyaksha, perceptible also is name and form superimposed consciousness. What is paroksha, remote also is nothing but name and form superimposed consciousness. That includes the entire universe. Chidatmakam. See that? So, Sarvatma Bhava. What is Sarvatma? The Chit or consciousness is the Atma, the essence or the content of everything, the object and subject. The perceptible, not perceptible. Savadanataya nityam svatmanam bhave. If you cannot see this fact, bhave, do the bhavana. Hey, this is not, this is consciousness in this form. It's consciousness in that form. Form is superimposed. The kan is consciousness. Consciousness. So this is bhavana. I don't see it because my mind is not ready to see it. Then I just have an attitude. It's consciousness. This is consciousness. There is consciousness. What is here is consciousness. What is not here is consciousness. Nityam savadhanataya. Savadhanatya means with attention, with alertness, sthirvrittya, with focus. Nityam bhava. Constantly may you have this attitude. This is called bhavana. So I see this person is my mother, or I have the attitude that she is my mother. Sakalamidam aham cha brahmaivati sarvada pashet. All this and I, all of this Brahman, this is Brahman, object is Brahman, all of this Brahman, and I am Brahman. In Brahman there is Sarvatma, self of all, that's what I am. So constantly keep on having this attitude. Attitude is when you don't see it. When you see something, then it's knowledge. When you see that this is clay, there is knowledge. If you don't see this is clay, oh, it's pot, it's clay, it's clay, clay, clay. So Brahman, Asti Bhadi Priyam. What I see, the see and seen, seer, here, there, what is it? So, Sakalamidam, all of this, Ahamcha, and I also, Brahmeva, is all Brahman. Iti constantly bhava. In your mind, see this fact. In your mind, keep on having this attitude. You get the same result as knowledge. This will take a long time. For bhavana to get transformed into knowledge will take a long time. But bhavana will result into knowledge. Bhavana is bhakti. Bhakti results into knowledge. You see karma yoga, for example. You know what Lord Krishna says? When you perform karma, what makes it yoga? The attitude of offering your action to Ishvara. How can I do that? Where is this Ishvara? When I do something for you, for Ishvara. Do something for that, for Ishvara. Do something for this thing, Ishvara. So thus I have the attitude, this is Ishvara, Ishvara, Ishvara. Then only I can offer my action to Ishvara, isn't it? Otherwise I'm offering to my father, mother, this and X, Y. But attitude is Ishvara. In this form, Narayana in this form, Narayana in this form, Narayana in this form. So I'm doing this for Narayana, offering Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. That's called attitude. What I see is a father, but what I tell my mind? Narayana. What I see is X, Y, Z, Narayana. So Karma Yoga is bhakti, is bhavana. When Lord Krishna says offer action to Narayana, where is Narayana? Hey, what is this Narayana? Come on. Never remember this Narayana. So that is bhavana or bhakti. And then comes the Jnana Yoga, when you see it as Narayana. So only when the mind is prepared for a long time with the attitude of Narayana, then the mind sees that this is Narayana. You follow? With attitude, I become close to Narayana. I tune up with Narayana, and that is how the time comes and I can see that this is Narayana. So in the knowledge, therefore, these two steps are prescribed. The Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Bhavana is bhakti. that I have the bhavana that this is Narayana, this is Bhagavan, this is Krishna, whatever Ishtadevata is. In course of time you see that. Then this person, Narayana. Right now, I see a person, I say Narayana. A time comes when I see that person, only Narayana occurs here. You follow? Right now, I see the person and I tell myself, no, this is Narayana. By doing this for a long time, then I just see Narayana. So this is the transformation that happens in the mind by what we call bhavana, by bhakti. This itself is again explained in the next verse is Drushyam yudrushyatam nitva brahmakarena chintayed vidvan nitye sukhe tishted Diya chidrasa purnaya. Drushyami adrushyatam nitva. Drushyam, what is drishyam? What is visible? Adrushyam, what is not visible? See, what happens is, when we see the snake, we don't see the rope. So what do we say? This is rope. This is rope. 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 That's bhavana. But I see snake, but in my mind, I see rope. In my mind, not perceptually. Similarly, what I see is what? Ghatadikam. All these objects, name and form. What do I say? Consciousness. Consciousness. Narayana is a sweeter way of saying it. So that is why this is too dry, consciousness. But for them it was okay. For those people who are not as sophisticated, for them Narayana, Narayana, Krishna, Rama, Shiva. So that's how it all comes down. We can see how the process of bhakti, etc. has slowly been tailored to the people who are, whatever capacities we have, accordingly that the sages tailor that thing. There was a time when people did not need any alambana, anything, to think of God. Slowly the mind became, grosser and grosser and grosser, and therefore we need more and more and more, and so ultimately we need a very tangible thing to think of God. All right? What is important is think of God. Doesn't matter if it's tangible or not. People have problem with this murti. They say, understand the purpose of this. Purpose is to think of Ishvara, that whatever I require in order to invoke a devotee in me, that's what is important. Important is a devotee is invoked in me. You follow? So formerly there was a time when we did not need to invoke a devotee. Now I have become a little thick-headed and thick-skinned and then dense, not that sensitive. Therefore I require something more tangible to invoke that. Doesn't matter. They have a problem with this. They don't know that this is minimum sadhanam to invoke a bhakta from me. What is important is not that. What is important is what is invoked in me. When a bhakta is invoked in me, slowly and slowly transformation takes place in me. That's the whole spiritual process. These idiots, bhakti, you are worshipping this. We are, our Swami, don't really worship stone. Everybody worship Ishvara. He is a worshipper that is important. Not what you worship. Worshipper is important. If this becomes a means of invoking from me a worshipper, it has done its job. So different people will need different things for invoking worshipper. So there are millions of all kinds of things are there. But what's the reason? Because people have different emotional makeup. And therefore, different things may appeal to them. So music appeals to somebody, this appeals to somebody, that appeals to somebody, this form appeals to somebody. Doesn't matter what it is. What it does. It invokes from me the devotee. They have done the job. So let them do worship whatever they want to worship. What is important is that they are worshipping with bhakti. That's all. That bhakti that is there in my mind is the most important thing. That changes me. It is not all kinds of rituals that I do that changes me. That may give me some karma phala. What transforms me is not what I do. What transforms me is what is the attitude in my mind. So yes, when I do karma, some karma phala comes and I get some punya and stuff like that, that's okay. But that is the mundane part of it. The real part is that is bhakta that comes out from me, which is a tough job. Because I am such a samsari that nothing really touches me usually, so I need something special so that touches me. So it's a beautiful dresses and then so different people like different things. Some people don't care for those, some people love that. Oh, how beautiful the Lord is. And that attracts me. Somebody is not attracted, what is going on here? So they want to have Lord Shiva, who doesn't have anything. All right, you go there, So we have all kinds of things. What is Shiva? Then mother, all right. So with all these 18 million, all arms and all kinds of weapons, some people run away from them. Some people feel protected there. So all right. She protects me. She's my mother. So what is all these weapons? You run away. Then somebody goes to where there's no weapon. All right. So different people have different kinds of minds. So give them, what is important is that a bhakta comes out. They are not important. What they do is important. And with that, whatever you do transforms you. That's what he said, Tulsi remains Tulsi only. But when you see Tulsi and do that, if a devotee comes out from you, then it is done the job. This will only remain a stone or a matter. You get transformed. So anyway, why did you slip into that kind of discussion? But the thing is that, so bhavana. See how the whole thing is, this is where bhavana, and this culture, this tradition have this. So how can that bhavana occur in me? So we seek, we use this as a help. When I see this, then right away that bhavana comes. By myself, I am not able to convert myself as bhakta. And this thing becomes an aid to invoke a bhakta from me. So therefore, there is a chid, etc. So consciousness can do it for you, well and good. Doesn't do, then you have something that does it to you, you follow. For people of the consciousness, all right, that's enough for him to connect. So therefore, drushyam adrushyatam nitva brahmakarana chindayet. You see ghata pata, whatever you see, so understand that it's only consciousness. Asti bhati priyam, consciousness. Brahmakarana. So then, what is kalpitam? What is superimposed? You just let them go and have these. So meaning that in your mind, give no importance to all these names and forms, only give importance to the fact that this is Brahman, 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 Brahman. So, Brahma Karana Chintayet. Don't look up down this as a part. What is it? Brahman in this form, Brahman in that form, Brahman in this form, conscious in this form, Asti Bhati Brahman, Narayana in that form, whatever you like it. So Narayana makes it a little sweet, because there is some rasa added. So when it's conscious, no rasa in there, for most people. And so that's why, aapka Brahman kuch is hamara Krishna aisa hai, theek hai vichalo. So there's this bhaktas and they all keep on. But as I said, the purpose is only whatever works for you. Even Sureshwaracharya says this vada, that, but don't worry. What works for you is a vada for you. Is Pratimavada is better, the reflection model, the Abhasavada, and then the Bhadavachedavada. Like such a great person as Sureshwaracharya is, whatever works for you is right for you. There are all aids given to you, all examples given to you. You like pot and clay, it works for you, all right. Rope and snake works for you, all right. What works for you is right for you. Nothing superior, nothing inferior. They're all aids. None of them is 10th man. You don't like 10th man? All right, 5th man. Some other story. You don't like human beings? Oh, Swami, you would give us a story. This man went in the morning, this is Dhobi, and he goes to this with some 4 donkeys he went. And then he bought one more donkey, I guess something, the story, I have to remember the story anyway. And then came back riding on the donkey. And then he counted, but there are only 4 donkeys. So he says to his wife, I bought 1 donkey, but there are only 4. Where's the 5th one? He says, I see 6 donkeys, His wife says, not 5, I say 6 donkeys. Anyway, so, you like different story, you say that. Praptasya prapti, that's all. Whatever works for you. What is important is something should happen to you, that's all. So therefore, kalpitasya parichinnasya nārupa nivritti purvakam. What is kalpitam? Name, form, nivritti, and then what is it? Brahman, bruhadakarana, aparichinna rupena chintayet. Hey, this is infinite, this is limitless. Limitation is only name and form, the content is limitless. Chintayet. Vidwan nitya sukhe tishtet. And this way, thus alone, Vidwan, this wise person, meaning the one who is now as a result, this bhakta, or what's the result? Nitya sukhe, chidrasa purnaya, nitya sukhe tishtet. So chidrasa purnaya dhiya. By the, dhiya means by the knowledge or by the vision. That is chidrasa purna, all that is nothing but the consciousness, nothing else. Vidwan nitya sukhe tishtet. Then he abides in the nitya sukham, eternal happiness, which is Brahman, which is his own self. So thus, the teacher also gave us an alternate means, is what? Meditation. What is meditation? Bhavana. So either you see by that method of vichara, if that doesn't work for you, because mind is not quite ready, then that you cannot let go this, then have the bhavana. Even when you see this part, this is clay, this is clay, this is clay, this is clay, this is Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. So part comes in the mind, this is Narayana. Slowly part changes to Narayana in your mind. That Kira Brahmarnyaya, it gets transformed. You get transformed in this manner. So, you can see how the teachers, in all their compassion, they don't let you go. So, like I have told you enough. No. Keep on telling you what you need and say, okay, you need this, here it is. You can't do this, here it is. Idanim uktam swamita yogam upasamharati. So this teacher has given us a jnana yoga, Raja Yoga. That Raja Yoga is now upasamharati, concludes here in the next verse, verse number 143. Ebhirangai samayukta Raja Yoga udahrutah Kinchit pakva kashayanam hatha yogena sanyutah. Thus, Raja Yoga udahrutah. So thus we have described the Raja Yoga. So it's Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, 15 steps of 15 limbs. Angaihi samayukta. We have now thus expounded for you this Raja Yoga or Jnana Yoga, which is endowed with 15 steps or 15 limbs. So this is the Upasamhara. This is the conclusion of the Raja Yoga that the teacher has told us. Then what? It doesn't work for me. Again you come and say, but what do I do? It doesn't work for me. I cannot quite do what you're telling us to meditate on Brahman, And so what if I cannot do? Alright? That means that still your mind is not pure enough. Kinchit pakva kashayana. For those who are partially purified. Kashaya means impurity. Pakva means cooked. If all impurity is cooked, then you become pure. But it's not totally cooked. So this is a term that is used in the Smriti. So kashaya pakve, when the teacher says that when your impurities are cooked, then your mind becomes pure. When the things are cooked, then they become edible properly. Half cooked is just difficult to digest, So still your impurities are not totally cooked. Meaning still your mind has impurities. You're not so impure as before. So kinchit, some cooking has been done. Some purification has been done. If this is not done, then you will start even earlier before that. So then you have to start with sweeping the floor and things like that, So start with karma yoga. But as a result of karma yoga, if your mind has been somewhat purified, that you gain now some kind of purity and some concentration, some self-control. Then Hatha yogena sanyutaha. Then you can practice this Raja Yoga, but you will also need the support of Hatha Yoga. So this Patanjali Yoga is called Hatha Yoga. That's the Tikakara says. Hatha Yoga is also Hatha. There is another Hatha Yoga also. So maybe in that time this Hatha Yoga is a 600-year-old, Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So mostly what is practiced, this is Hatha Yoga. Which is the Kundalini Yoga, which in fact aims at invoking the sleeping energy called Kundalini, and that is how you get the realization. So that is another method. Which is called Hatha Yoga now. But what is meant by Hatha Yoga is Patanjali Yoga, meaning that Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, proceeding in that systematic manner. So all right. This Raja Yoga does not require any of those things. But because of the lack of purity in your mind, if the Raja Yoga, meaning that this contemplation of vichara doesn't quite work for you, then may you supplement that vichara also with your asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana. Supplement with that. So Hatha Yogena Sanyutaha. In accompaniment with the Hatha Yoga, you practice this Raja Yoga. For those whose minds are purified, Raja Yoga, as we have described, enough. For those it is not so, alright. Then for that remaining purification, use this yoga. Of what? Asana, pranayama. So pranayama, all of that brings our antakarana shuddhi. So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, all of these also bring about purification of mind, because then only you can become prepared for the following stage. Each following stage is subtler than the previous one, and therefore requires a mind which is more pure than before. So yama purifies the mind, niyama further purifies the mind, asana further purifies, pranayama most purifies. Then you become, then pratyahara, inwardness happens, then the concentration happens, etc. So take the help of that along with this. Ayam Raja Yoga eva kesham yoga heti. Then this Raja Yoga that, sir, you prescribe, kesham yoga hai. Who are the people for whom this Raja Yoga meant? The 15-step Raja Yoga or 15-limb Raja Yoga that you describe is fit for whom? Is prescribed for whom? Iti Aparokṣānubhūti. When that question is asked, Sargranthartam upasamharan. In the last verse, the teacher summarizes or concludes the entire artha, the entire subject matter of this text. So what is taught in the text? In one verse, the whole thing is summarized, while telling us also who is adhikari for this yoga that we have taught in this text. So last verse says, Paripakvam mano yesham kevaloyam cha siddhidah gurudevata bhaktanam sarvesham sulabho javad. Paripakvam mano yesham. Yesham manah paripakvam. For those whose mind is completely purified. Meaning what? Those who possess viveka, vairagya, samadhi, satka, sambati, mumukshutvam. Those who possess the fourfold qualifications. Kevalayam, all you need is this Raja Yoga. All you need is the yoga of vichara or inquiry or contemplation is enough for you. Siddhidaha, siddhim dadati siddhidaha. So that in fact gives you the siddhi or the perfection. When you attain the goal simply by the Raja Yoga or simply by the contemplation that we have prescribed here, if you possess those fourfold qualifications. So, paripakvam ragadi mularahitam. Ragadvesha is called impurity. Paripakvam, the mind is free from ragadvesha. Meaning those who possess this viveka, vairagya, this sampatti. Tesham jitarishad varganam. Those who have conquered all the 6 inner enemies. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Those who have conquered them. Purusha Dhurandharanam. Those people are really Dhurandhara. Dhurandharati. So those Dhurandhara means is most exalted among the human beings. Those who conquer those inner enemies. So that is a warrior. So who conquers the enemy? Which enemy? In this case, the inner enemies. So those who conquer the inner enemies and thus purify their mind, for them all that is needed is this vichara. That's all that is needed. Kevalaha, without the aid for that Patanjali Yoga also, siddhidha. It brings about the siddhi. What is it? So Abhinna Brahma Aparokṣānubhūti dvara, that contemplation as prescribed produces knowledge that I am Brahman, the Aparokṣānam. The immediate knowledge that I am Brahman is created by that. Or knowledge happens as a result of that. What does it do? Swarupa avasthan lakshana mukti pradaha. One abides in one's own nature with Brahman, and that's how one gains siddhi or liberation. So for those who are ready, what we have said in the text is enough for them to attain their final goal. So kevalayam cha. Cha is eva. Indeed, this itself is enough. So that is why, when our course was complete, our Swamiji, when these people go out, then all kinds of, things are there. So Swamiji made it a point. Look, what you have gained is enough for you. What you have gained here is enough for you. Build on that. Contemplate. You don't need anything else. Don't go to Tarka and don't go to Nyaya and don't go to this and don't go to all, because people when they go, I don't know Tarka. That I have not learned enough. Nyaya I didn't learn enough. Mimamsa I didn't learn enough. Vyakarana I didn't. You don't need. What a Vyakarana you needed, you have. What a Tarka you needed, you have. What a Mimamsa you have. You have what you need. Otherwise, people get distracted. If I feel that, I don't know enough Mimamsa, then it becomes, another thing. And I may get disturbed. Vedanta sometimes is left out. So people went for Tarka and Nyaya, and they got so fascinated. Everything is fascinating. Sanskrit Vyakaranam also is very fascinating. Mimamsa, everything is fascinating. And then it may fascinate you more than Vedanta. And so it's quite likely you can distract it. Don't do anything else. Because then people start all kinds of, because then somebody starts Kundalini, somebody starts that, then you find people doing all kinds of things. So that fear is all, that's what Swami says, you don't need anything else. So Upanishad teacher also says that what we have told you is enough. There's nothing more to tell. The Upanishad also, teacher makes a conclusion that what we have taught you is enough. So this teacher also says, that what we are taught itself is enough to give you the siddhi or perfection of the nature of moksha, which is abidance in your being what you are, that's all. Abiding in the true nature of yourself, which is being what you are. That is moksha, because you are already liberated. But then, only for those whose mind is paripakvam. Nanyesham aparipakva manasam ityartha. So only for those who have purified mind that this work, But those who do not have that qualification, this itself will not work. It is not enough. Then what do you need? Nanu paripakva manastvam ati durlabham. What do you say, sir? Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shatka, Sambati, Mumukshutvam, Paripakvatvam, this Ati Durlabha is extremely difficult. To gain this kind of purification of mind, to gain that Viveka, Vairagya and all of this is Ati Durlabham. Extremely difficult. Iti Akankshayam. Then what do we do? Who find that Vairagya is so difficult, quietening mind is so difficult, self-control is so difficult. Asyavi sadhanatvat atah antaranga sadhanamaha. So this is there anyway. But then even further means will tell you. If you are not ready with this qualification, then we'll give you this you do. But further sadhanam will give you. Something more internal, some more intimate thing will give you. So second line says, Guru Devat Bhaktanam Sarvesham Sulabhojavat. So bhakti came. Guru Devat Bhaktanam Java Ati Shigram. So Sarvesham Guru Devat Bhaktanam. What is Guru Deva Bhaktanam? So those who are devoted to Guru and Devata. Because the famous verse, it draws from that famous verse from the Shvetashvatar Upanishad. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasyete kathitha hyarthaha prakashante mahatmanah. So having taught the entire Upanishad, the last verse Shvetashvatar Rishi says this. That what we have told you, Yasya deve parabhakti, one who has supreme devotion for Devata, meanings for Ishvara whom we want to know. Yatha deve tatha guru, that bhakti that you have for Ishvara, the same level of bhakti for Guru also. Tasyete kathita hyarthaha prakash tasya mahatmana, of that Mahatma, of that saintly person who has the devotion for Ishvara as well as for Guru, supreme devotion. The words that we have taught will bring the meaning in your mind. Tasyete kathita hyartaha prakashante ma. These words will become live to them. So words remain words unless the mind is ready. So those who have this bhakti in their heart, in their mind, these words will ring true and they will gain the knowledge. So therefore the bhakti is prescribed as also as necessary for knowledge. For those who have not been able to cultivate that sadhana chatur sampatti in its totality. All of us have it. We all have viveka and vairagya. All of us we have. But if you don't have it in a complete measure, then add this. Sarvesham adipadena varnashramadi nirapeksham manushyamatram. So says Gurudev Bhaktanam Sarvesham. Of all the people. Doesn't matter what varna they are, what caste they are, doesn't matter. What stage of life they are, doesn't matter. Brahmacharya, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, doesn't matter. Sannyasi, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, whoever it is, man, woman, whoever they are. In Bhakti, everybody is adhikari. And so in Lord Krishna also said, that everybody, all you need is so. Kaunte pratijani name bhaktah pranasyati mami partha vyapashit yepi syuh papayonayah striyo vaishyasta shudra tepi yanti param gatim. They think that these three Vaishya, Shudra are not qualified jnana. Don't worry, they are all qualified bhakti. And they will also attain that knowledge. And they will also attain the ultimate goal. So Manushyamat Sarvesham Sulabho Javat. Very quickly, this becomes Sulabha. It becomes easy to attain. Ataheva Gurudeva Bhakti Antara. So, therefore, Gurudeva Bhakti Antarangatvam. Therefore, this bhakti is the most intimate means. Then comes that vichara. So, first comes bhakti, most intimate, and then aided with that vichara that we have described here, will certainly bring you the knowledge. So, Shraddhavan labate jnanam tad viddhi pranipatena, all of this said. So, paripakva manasamapi, those sadhyani sadhanani, sometimes even for people who have that qualification, even they also are not able to gain the knowledge. Sometimes it happens. Gurudevata bhaktaram. So even if your mind is not quite as ready as them, sometimes people whose mind is ready, even they are also not able to get. But when you have the bhakti, even if your mind is not as ready, you get. Those who have bhakti will definitely get it. Those who have those qualifications should get it, but sometimes they may not get it. But those who have devotion will definitely get it. Meaning that if you do not have that kind of purification of mind, but your devotion for Guru and the Ishvara, then susadhyani bhavanti. This knowledge becomes easy of attainment. Deheto Gurudev bhajanameva swadharma avirodhana sarvai karyam. So the teacher gives a final thing. Everybody should have the bhajanam. The bhajanam means worshipping of Guru and Devata. To cultivate the bhakti. So, karyam, this must be done. Meaning that one must cultivate the bhakti for Guru and Ishvara. And what do you do? By serving, etc. Whatever is required, you do for discovering that bhakti. Swadharma avirodhana, without giving up your dharma. So what happens is, in worshipping Devata, etc., then you give up all your duties. No, that's not right. Swadharma avirodhana. So therefore, you serve the teachers, etc., gain their favor without compromising your own dharma or own duties. Sarvahi karyam, that everybody should do, whether you are ready or not ready. It is conceivable that even if you have the sadhana chatushtya, sometimes you find it difficult. But if you have this, you will definitely get that. So that's the prescription, or this is the final advice by the teacher. Idi paramam mangalam. So thus, this is a very auspicious way of concluding the text. Conclusion with bhakti, of Ishvara and of the Guru. It must come from their own experience anyway. But whenever we find, they always start with, salutation of Sri Hari, Paramanandam, Sri Harim, Paramanandam. Upadeshtar means Guru. So they always start with the salutation to Ishvara and Guru. So I guess this is all told from their own experience. So iti paramam mangalam. And thus, this with mangalam, with auspiciousness, with all the blessings, that this text is concluded here. Iti Srimad Shankara Bhagat Padacharya Virachita Aparokṣānubhūti Samapta. In this manner, Aparokṣānubhūti is a text, Virachita, which has been composed by Srimad Shankar Bhagat Padacharya, by Adi Shankaracharya, Samapta is very well concluded. Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Aparokṣānubhūtirvai Prochyate Moksha Siddhaye Sadbhireva Prayatnena Vikshaniya Muhurmuhu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.